So we promise to help you get an understanding, a better understanding of what's going on within the political parties. In fact, largely the political space. People declaring day by day, the options getting wider and wider. And it looks like the average voter out there is wondering, where do we go from here? Who will be the right person? Because when there are more options, I tell you, it might be a bit more difficult to come up with one choice. But we have someone who understands how politics is played. In fact, he has a sense of view that covers political parties in Nigeria. And we're joined live in our Abuja studio tonight by Mr. Sonny Yabagi, who is IPAC National Chairman. IPAC, by the way, is Inter-Party Advisory Council. He's also the chairman, the national chairman of ADP. Mr. Yabagi Sonny, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'll be honest, I know you actually ran for the presidential seat at some point. I'm wondering why you didn't join the list this year.
Well, you know, the journey has just started. And I want you to understand one thing. There's a process to electing a candidate of a particular party. What we are witnessing today is primaries, the build-up to primaries, where one person out of all these people that have showed up, who stepped out to be given the mandate to lead the country, will take place, which is, like you said earlier, I think INEC has brought out a timetable that says from April 4th to June 3rd, all the political parties must get their act together and conclude the process leading to fielding a candidate that Nigerians now can, elect, one of them out of the 18 political parties. That's if 18 political parties eventually, field candidates. So what is happening today, to me, it's a welcome development. What it says is that Nigerians are now catching up with what politics is all about. It's about you, it's about me, it's about the man on the street, it's about everybody. That this is democracy, which is the government of the people, by the people, for the people. So there's something wrong in everybody coming out and saying, I want to be given the
everybody.
Well, everybody for that matter.
Because,
well, but like I said, that's a process. There's nothing wrong in you coming out to say, I want to be fielded as your candidate. You can have, all the members of the party as given allowed by the constitution of each political party. Once you are of the age, once you have met the constitutional requirement of becoming a president, you have the right, to say, I want to be considered. So what is happening today, believe me, is not anything that Nigerians should be worried about. The time you begin to worry is when parties finish their primaries and they are presented to you, maybe about 18 individuals, Nigerians. That I'm saying, if 18 political parties all come out with their candidate, that is the time that Nigerians will now be taken to task to now query, the track records of these individuals, perhaps where they're coming from, what have they done before, what can they do for the country before you now vote for them.
I think maybe the term to use for Nigerians, maybe not worry, I think it's more of a curiosity. Thinking, what is going on here? I'm not sure that we've had this much people declaring in the history of Nigeria. I'm not even talking the Fourth Republic. In the history, this much people declaring. The question is not who will declare next, it's who has not declared yet.
Exactly.
That's the question. And I know I asked you earlier on.
Why haven't I declared
why haven't you declared?
I said the process has just started.
So you are joining that list very soon.
Well, as a politician, I cannot tell you that I will never join, because never say never. In a political, well, life of a politician. I mean, if you are in need, you are in need because you want to serve. That is the grand norm. So every politician you see, obviously wants to be given opportunity, in one capacity or the other. It doesn't have to be the presidency, per se. But if you think you have what it takes and you can deliver, of course, step out. The Constitution gives you the right. The party also, Constitution gives you the right. The rest now is, will Nigerians give you their vote, at the end of the day? So what is happening, perhaps, maybe the performance of the present administration is what has elicited, this, onslaught. I mean,
performance, when you say performance, you mean good performance or bad performance? How do you qualify the performance?
Well, I qualify it as if the presidency is so easy, that in spite of all that has happened, nothing. People feel that maybe I can do better than what is happening today.
So you're saying
they are
the performance
saying
is good?
No, I'm not saying it's good in any way.
Okay,
what I'm saying is that people believe
better is good.
Yeah, people believe that they can do better than what the APC-led government is doing, for Nigeria today, or by extension, what President Muhammadu Buhari is giving Nigerians. The individuals coming out, in droves, believe that maybe they can do much better than what is happening.
So if you will rate the performance, if you put maybe a term or a figure to it, what would it be? Because you premise that on these people coming out saying they can do better. So how would you rate the performance to begin with?
No, the performance as it is today, and if you ask any sincere person in Nigeria, will tell you that this is not what we expect at all. Okay. And which means there's a lot to be done. And we have high regards for Mr. President. We know he can do much better than what is happening today. We know that something is happening that nobody can explain. Maybe the president himself cannot explain why what is happening is happening. It's not good enough. That is our judgment. And that is not to say that you throw away the baby with the bathwater. That's the end. What is 8 years in the life of a nation? We can do much better. Right. The fact that we are still one nation, I think, is a credit to President Buhari. The fact that in spite of all that is happening, we are still one indivisible nation.
There will always still be questions around, that term or that expression, because as we've seen, there are agitations. There continues to be agitations, but maybe we'll pick that up. But I still want you to help Nigerians understand what's at play here. Let's break this down further. So political pundits will usually describe aspirants. A lot of them are still aspirants now, anyway.
Exactly.
They'll describe them as either a contender, a front runner, a pretender. They even called some spoilers. So how can Nigerians identify who the maybe front runners, the contenders are, as against the pretenders and maybe the spoilers? Because they say spoilers essentially are those vying just to, divide the votes, essentially to divide the number of delegates and all of that. So how can Nigerians identify, if you can help us understand?
And even the ones that are challenging the sensibility, and I'm talking about sense of judgment of Nigerians. There are a lot of them today that have come out. How do you explain somebody that is in this government, that all the policies of this government, economic policy, social, every policy of the government, he is part and parcel of this government, and he has the audacity now to come out and say, elect me, on which performance?
So you don't think
are they disowning Mr. President, that they have nothing to do with what is happening with this record that is there? When you, I mean, it's a laughable, situation that you find people that are part of this, that are in fact, when you want to talk about those that play a key role in the running of this government, they are number one that you mentioned after Mr. President. And the same people are now say, elect me. For what? To kill us more?
Is there anything wrong in having
There's everything wrong, even from the moral perspective. If really they think Nigerians have what is called brains, I don't think people will have, such people will have that.
But they didn't make the major decisions. They're not the president, as it were.
The president, leadership is not one person. It's not just President Muhammadu Buhari. No, that's not leadership. Leadership, I understand the ideas under this system of governance. Government that we have, the presidential system of government. The president is chief executive. The buck stops, at his table. But that is not it. The president is just to lead. He has advisors. He has ministers that are delegated his responsibilities to, who are pretending over the ministries. And those people have no. They don't think that they are responsible. They think they're not accountable for what is happening to us in this country today. So that's the point I'm making.
But what's the propriety, really, Mr. Yabagi Sani, of that point you're making? Would you then go as far as saying nobody rather within the APC should even run, because that's the party in power right now? Would you go as far as saying that?
Oh, they even the electoral law went that far. That's what the electoral law says, that if you are a political appointee, and you want to contest, resign, before you join.
Well, there's a court ruling on that one.
Yeah, a court ruling on that one. Yeah, but the fact of the matter is that if you are part and parcel of this administration, for God's sake, please save us, the embarrassment.
I don't think that's what the framers of that law thought of. In fact, the majority in the National Assembly is the APC, so it would be ironic to say that that's what that particular section is trying to cure. I think essentially the sense is to try to reduce the influence you carry into, those primaries as a person in government.
Especially the bad influence that has been put, in the system.
That's your interpretation. That's your interpretation.
No, but you can see it yourself. I know you may not be able to say it, but I should say it.
It's not in the law. I can read the law for you. At least
no. I'm saying that what you said, people are not allowed to carry the influence into the next administration, isn't it? I say, well,
no, into the primaries. Come there with all the influence, the paraphernalia of office. You know how much that impacts on the process.
Certainly it does. Exactly. It does a lot. But with impunity, you can see what they are doing. They have no really respect for the laws of this land.
Well, the court asked that part of the law be deleted, actually. So as it stands right now, there's been an appeal by the House of Representatives.
Has it been deleted?
So for you think that even though the court says that section should be deleted, you still think that those political appointees...
It is the law today.
No, the court has asked that it be deleted.
Yeah, but has it been deleted?
Well, the court has made the pronouncement. So as it stands right now, it remains deleted. Well, let's move on to this to this point, because it's been also said that a lot of his declarations is about horse trading, using that as bargaining chip. So they come out, show that I have a lot of support. In fact, I would have the delegates anyway. So they use it as a bargaining chip to maybe get favors, positions in the future. Do you subscribe to that? Is that something you suspect as well?
Well, that is politics for you. Like I said, politics, People try to see how they can become relevant, in the scheme of things. And there's nothing, they haven't done anything against the law. Either the constitution of the country or the constitution of their own party.
Right.
So it's allowed. But you see, the dramas that we are seeing, and like I said before, is the fact that we, the politicians, we should give Nigerians some credit.
Well, it's interesting you said we.
Yeah,
so I'm glad that you identify.
Exactly.
We have to anchor at this point.
Yeah.
It's been a quite interesting conversation. But we've been doing this with Mr. Sani Yabagi, who is the National Chairman of Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. He's also the National Chairman of ADP and former presidential candidate, I should say. Thank you so much, Mr. Sani Yabagi, for your time tonight.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, we'll go on a quick break now, and when we return, we'll be speaking with one man who has thrown his hat in the ring. We'll be taking a look at his pedigree and his plans and vision for Nigeria. You don't want to miss this conversation, so please stay with us.